What do you like better, Christmas or wedding season?
Mr. Gray.
Yes, the answer would be, wedding season?
Bingo.
Well, you've just inspired me to hire a DJ, so thank you.
Oh, well, good luck finding a DJ who can move and shake like this.
You are now listening to Cutmaster Cast.
Yo, 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 yo! Welcome back to the Cutmaster Cast. My name is Chris Romero.
What's up, guys? I'm Tony Pacheco.
And we are your hosts of Cutmaster Cast, where we discuss local industry events, the DJ and music scene, and just general wedding industry topics and hacks. And today we want to discuss trends in the industry. Yep. So we're going to talk about trends that we would like to see and trends that we would like to see go away. And then we're going to spend most of the podcast today talking about that. And then we're going to end up with what we're going to call a segment, which is the grab bag. A few questions that we've seen pop up in some of the groups, whether online or in socials. And we're just going to, kind of gab a little bit about those and discuss those topics. So
kind of give our perspective on it, on what we've seen work in our industry. Because I felt like, in New Mexico, it's a little different from like on the East Coast or West Coast. So we'll kind of give our 2 cents on that.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it and dive into the trends. And actually, you know what? Hold on. Before we do that, let's we want to use this show to talk about local events. I didn't have anything this past week. Tony, did you have anything going on?
I actually did. I had a couple of events. One, I had a school winter ball. It's, cool. School dances are fun because you get to play a lot of new stuff and it's a high energy crowd. But kids are mean, man. Kids will let you know immediately if you're playing the wrong song. And so I feel like if you don't, you have to kind of know what to anticipate with kids and do all that. But it was a fun event, maybe 200, 250 kids. They had a blast. So
I haven't personally done a school dance, since pre-COVID. And I feel like I'm kind of at the age now where it's funny. You go through stages, I feel like, as a DJ, right? Mm-hmm. So Tony is a 20-something, right? He's about the same age as when I got into the industry and started. And you still feel like a connection, right? With the music that the high schoolers are listening to and even what they kind of have grown up with being in elementary and middle school. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like as you get older, there comes this time where, I don't know, you just don't connect with that age group, right?
I can feel it. I can already feel the disconnect because now I'm at that point where I'm 10 years older than these kids, right?
Right.
But the uniqueness right now at this window in time is my throwbacks are their throwbacks in a way, right? So they, even though they are 10 years younger than me, when I play Yeah by Usher, it's still hitting as if it was like when I was dancing to it because it was like, it's music that they grew up with, but now you're having to incorporate new stuff as well. But yeah, right now is kind of a unique sweet spot where like my throwbacks are their throwbacks and it's kind of working out really well. But again, it's becoming more every year. You can feel that distance in terms of like trying to stay relevant and doing a little bit more research versus it just coming naturally. Right?
I even feel like just the look, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if I'm going to go do a school dance right now, I need to be rocking like the hat on backwards.
You got to have that
I've
young
got to have
look.
My hoodie. I've got to have the look. Like I can't, I'm the old guy now. I'm the old dude. I've grown old.
Oh,
Dang
no.
it. But that's where the weddings, I feel like I can still excel. I see plenty of people in the industry, right? That rocking weddings. And weddings are so much more, I guess, diverse music-wise. But I feel like, man, if you're going to a high school dance, I just feel like to really take those next level, like someone like you, younger, you've got the look, you've got the energy, you can match that. And just, once again, it's all about that connection. Yeah. So I'm like done with school dances. That's it. I tap out.
Yeah.
I'm done
I can
with
see it ending for me sooner than later, but like right now it's good, it's working out well. But like I had said, kids are mean, man. Like, and it's so unique because you have to create these moments that are like really high energy, that have to seem fun, but like it's so weird because they're all too cool. And all these kids are too cool to dance. It's got to be something like a big group of kids are dancing, then it's a lot more inviting. Nobody wants to like be that crew dancing or whatever. And that's what's unique kind of like at dances versus like the club. You've got alcohol that really helps people feel a lot more adventurous.
Right.
And people go to nightlife to go party, to have fun. Whereas like school dances are kind of just something you do, and you could go to a dance and not dance, right? Because
I feel like the dances now, like it's so unique, so different.
Yeah,
like it's so different. Like it's just different. So,
oh my god! And all they want is the dang wobble. I played it 3 times.
Oh my
I was very upset, and I was like, I already played it, and you missed out on it. I apologize. I waited a solid hour before I played it some like really good heavy hit. Waited till it was packed, right? Wobble,
well,
great.
So, you know why? Because we're in the TikTok era. Like they want all these dances, right? Like,
and they just need little tastes of it. It's so unique, but I mean, it's fine. I like school dances. I like that I do more weddings than school dances.
You know what? I mean, I liked them too when I did them.
Great.
Like it was kind of cool, but I'm glad I'm over.
Yeah,
I'm done with them. All right, cool. So you had a school dance,
and then I did a cycling class.
Oh, talk a little bit about that. This is something new for us at Cutmaster Music. Tell them where they can sign up for the cycling class. Tony's like our guy with this right now.
It's fun.
And I'll tell you a little bit of background of how we got this. This is actually a past bride of ours that came back. She opened up this awesome cycling studio. It's called Core, right? And it's over...
it's off of Wyoming and Paseo here in Albuquerque, right by La Cueva, Smith's up in
It's right next to
Heights.
Vintage 23 in that same that same strip mall right there. And so they do like Pilates, cycling. I think they've got some other things.
They do Core Pilates and Core Cycling. That's kind of their main 2 that they focus on.
Right.
But they're so high energy. They're filling up classes. They were telling me all month of January is like, we've been filling classes. We want to finish off strong with our cycling class. And so they've been doing really, really well. Core fitness, and it's super fun. That's what's a cool thing that I like about it. So what we do is we show up, 45-minute workout, but we DJ live with interactive lights and interactive music with a live trainer. So I'm there spinning while they're going, and it's crazy how much fun it is, because it's like when they normally do the trainings, they just have a Spotify playlist that just kind of goes from one end to the next, and there's like dead time in between those song transitions. So what we do, or what I do, is I basically just blend in music intros, music outros, and allow them to transition with the music. So when you're going from like a 100 to a 128, they're not having to readjust or like let the song go to nothing. They can use that backbeat and like find the beat, and then I speed up with them, and then they speed up with me, and it's so intuitive, and it's a lot of fun. The trainer her name is Mary. She's so good at like getting people to sing along with the music, and it's such an experience. And that's the cool part too, is like a lot of people are like, it's an intense workout, I don't know if I can do it. And she's like, you just need to show up and ride the bike. Nobody's asking you to, as long as you're pushing yourself, it's all about getting the workout in, right? It's 45 minutes, super easy, but a lot of fun. And we do it, I think we're trying to do it once a month now. But this is our 3rd time just yesterday. Today's Tuesday, we did it on Monday, and it was
and Core is a great match just for Cutmaster. They're looking to be progressive, right, and do some different things and try some things out. And Kadeen and Charlie, who are the owners over there, their wedding, first of all, was an absolute blast, and it didn't surprise me one bit that they're like the types that want to try something kind of new, something fun, and it was nice of them to bring us in to do that. So
nobody's doing that in Albuquerque. It's so unique, and it's a big wow factor when people walk in. They see the lights, they see a live DJ. They're like, "What the heck?" And even the cool part is the trainer too. She gives me a lot of freedom. She says, "Here's the structure, BPM wise, right? Like here's the skeleton of it, but you choose the songs, and I'll just react to them, right?" And so she's like, "I love that. I don't know what's gonna come up next." And so when I bring in whatever, like yesterday I played Laffy Taffy.
Oh yeah,
of a D4L, and they lost it, right? They all had so much fun just to hear that dun, dun, dun,
yeah, the unexpected, right?
Yeah, and so that's what's always cool too, is to get those live reactions when they're going.
Wow, that's awesome.
Those are the 2 I did.
Yeah, so guys, go check it out. Their Core.
It's Core Pilates and Cycle Studio. Their Instagram is CORRABQ, Core ABQ. Fantastic gym. If you're looking for Pilates, cycling classes, stuff like that.
Awesome. Okay, so let's dive into it now with trends. Trends. I would see. This is where I need like a mixing board so I can have a super cool sound. So now that's what you get. Yeah, that's the official trends sound.
It's coming. Sound effects are coming, guys.
We're gonna just Tony's gonna be the official sound
like Chris
effect.
said, we know we're just trying to figure this out. Go and do these episodes as we go, right? But yeah, I feel like every episode
it's gonna get better.
We're looking to improve each one.
That's right. It's as we go along. It's gonna be a journey that you're all on with us in this podcast game. So super fun.
Yeah.
But that was the official trends
transition.
The trends. Okay, so let's start off with. Do we want to start off with trends we want to see or trends we would like to see go bye-bye?
Why don't we do go bye-bye? And then, do that, and then we can go on to something nicer.
And with the good.
A positive note, right?
Positive.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, go ahead. Start us off. A trend that you would like to see vamoose.
Go away. Now, this one might be a little controversial to a more traditional bride or groom or couple.
Cue the controversial sound effect. Dun, dun, dun.
But bouquet garter.
Ooh.
I think you do not need to do a bouquet garter anymore. I think it's overdone. It's a very old school way. I feel like a lot of people feel like it's an obligation.
You don't think that these the brides of today enjoy their brand new husband going up their dress in front of mom and dad?
The garter's the first thing. I think you can really get away with a bouquet toss. I like inviting all of the ladies up. You don't have to make it about being single anymore because it's not about that. It's just, I always say, let's invite everyone up and whoever catches it gets good luck. Nobody if grandma catches it, it's great. It's cool.
You know what's kind of cool that I've seen? I guess this is I don't know if it's a trend per se. I've only seen a few people do this, but I really enjoyed it. And it was like in lieu of that bouquet toss, they presented it to. So this was one way. This is actually a trend. I don't know if I want to see it go away, but it could be cheesy. But in this way, it's not. The anniversary dance. All right. So we did the anniversary dance,
yep.
Right? And this is, for those of you that don't know, basically it's a countdown backwards, right? If you play a song, 4 or 5 minute long song. If you've been married for less than 3 hours, you must exit the dance floor. If you've been married for less than 5 years, okay, and you go all the way, and basically it ends with the couple, typically grandma and grandpa of some sort, or aunt and uncle that have been married for 50 years, right? And then what we did was we presented them with a bouquet, the grandma with the bouquet, and then I would usually say something like along the lines of, all right, you all have made it 55 years. What's the secret sauce for...
Get some advice.
And give some advice. And usually it's something really well thought out by grandma, and then grandpa comes in with something hilarious, right?
It's
you
always...
Just say yes or whatever.
She's always right. Or I always get a happy wife, happy life.
Yeah,
and everyone's, they laugh and they think it's hilarious.
Something like that, but it was kind of cool. So they presented the
great way to
bouquet,
do
and then you don't have to do a bouquet toss.
Yeah, that's a cool way to like
comfortable.
give away the bouquet without doing a traditional toss, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think you don't need to do it. It's only killing momentum in your open dance, right? Because a lot of times you knock out all your first dances, your parent dances, those other formalities. Then you open up the dance floor for a little bit. Then you allow 20 minutes to go by or 30 minutes or whatever. Then you do the bouquet garter. Normally, that's kind of how it goes. Now, when you do that, you're kind of throwing a wrench into the open dance. You're stopping all the momentum. I've always been a fan of let's get that bouquet garter done so I don't have to kill the dance floor an hour later, right? Because once you're invited, you kill the momentum of the dance floor. People find reasons to go get a drink, go do something else, go play the game, or go take a photo. And you as a DJ want to keep them on the dance floor the whole time. So yeah, bouquet garter, I think that's a formality you can really do away with. And yeah, the garter, it's so awkward. It's so weird. The garter has no real weight to it.
Catch my new wife's panties. Come on.
Yeah, right. And when you try and throw the thing, it's always like, so anticlimactic. Things I've seen in the past is guys will put it on a football and put $20 in there.
Yeah,
and that'll incentivize dudes to want to catch it, right? But
yeah,
you don't need the bouquet garter anymore, guys.
All right, so there we go. That's a good I agree with that one. Something that I definitely don't want to see. This trend is just getting started here in Albuquerque and in New Mexico. This has been happening on the coasts, and that's typical, right? Everything happens on the East Coast, West Coast, and then it finally hits here 5 years later.
Yep.
This is just starting up now, and I want to see it end. I want to not ever do it. You're not going to see us do it. We'll talk about why, but it's the cold spark fountains. At events. Okay. I've seen this pop up in a few groups already. People asking, where can we get the cold sparks? The indoor sparklers. And basically that's what they are, right? They're indoor. They're supposed to be for indoor. Yeah. You can put your hand over it and it doesn't burn anything. You put a piece of paper over it and it doesn't burn. And ask any DJs that have been using this. And this is a common theme with these cold sparks. Number one, they put out a lot of debris. All right, so you've got to clean up the dance floor afterward. The debris is actually metallic, from what I've heard. So you're breathing this stuff in, which is metal.
Not good.
All right, a DJ that's pretty prominent in the industry, Nick Spinelli, did a whole rant on this. They get the DJ gear and equipment super dirty. And this stuff goes inside of our gear. All right, we've got speakers. If you put them next to your speakers, our speakers have fans. And the fans are designed to keep the magnets and all the electrical components cool. And so they're blowing air out of them, but they've got these ports on the back. And apparently, you've got huge magnets on the back of these speakers, and this dust, this metallic dust created by the cold sparks gets inside of that stuff. So from a DJ gear maintenance perspective, horrible. Yeah. And that's what I've been hearing from these. Not to mention, okay, worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario that could happen with some cold sparks?
A fire.
Okay? go to YouTube. I know. And we're going to catch some flack maybe from some people out there. You got to use the good stuff. You can't use stuff from China or India or whatever. Go YouTube, cold spark, fire, wedding, and look and see what happens when these things catch fire, especially if you're indoor and you've got a lot of drapery overhead or flowers or something. One just popped up recently. It was right next to some flowers that were like fake flowers, I guess.
Sure.
And you see this couple dancing their first dance. These flowers start on fire. Somebody comes up and just picks up the whole thing and just is carrying it in the background like as if nothing's happening. And
casual.
A big fire happening. And I just don't. It's not worth it.
It just
I don't want
feels
to take
like
that chance.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of stress and a lot of potential to go wrong for one shot. For that first
I know.
dance,
I
right?
get it. The pictures, they look beautiful.
Yeah, but it's great. They're not going throughout the whole night. It's one moment.
You know who doesn't have to worry about the liability? The photographers.
Oh yeah,
The
exactly.
videographers. Mm-hmm. They don't care. Pictures look wonderful. Yep. I know. I get it. They do. Mm-hmm. And then when us, the DJ or the planner or whoever brings those things in and you start the joint on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so let me ask you this: what's the first song you're playing?
What is it? Fire.
Ooh, Ohio players.
Yeah, or
The Roof.
We don't need
Roof.
no audience. Let that mother effer burn. Right? That'd be hilarious.
That's what I'm going into Fireball.
Talk about Fireball.
I'm going into Fireball.
Right?
We're burning this place down. We're going to go out dancing, people. Good God, because I'm never going to DJ ever again. My insurance is not going to cover me.
Right, you're going
I'm
out.
done. I'm going to be all over the news. I'm going to lose my house.
Might as well go out with a party.
I'm going to be divorced. I mean, we might as well just go out with a party. I'm going out with Pitbull. Jesus. All right. Okay, so that's a trend that I want to see not get started here.
Yeah, right.
And it's for I don't know, logistical reasons, I guess.
But it really is about safety too, and
it's already happening.
There's too many cons for one pro.
So here's the other thing. I'm going to tell you guys out there. We looked into this when the cold sparks first happened, a few years back, and they came onto the scene. Immediately, of course, it was something that I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is how we can level up."
Yeah.
So I looked into it. You have to have a fire marshal that is there at your venue. This is here in Albuquerque. I know some of these venues that are out on the reservation and they've got their own rules and they do their own thing, whatever. But here in Albuquerque, it's considered pyro. I looked into it. You have to have a fire marshal during the entirety of your event.
Yep.
That's I guess a couple $100, I think, when I looked it up. And then what else did you have to have? So fire marshal, they're considered pyro. And that's before you even sell these things. I mean, you're already a few $100s in. Yeah, you got to have a permit, you know. But I know there's some venues here in town. They've already said they're using them, and we've used them and had no problems. You know what? I've always said this. It's not a problem until it's a problem.
Yep.
It's not a problem until it's a problem, and I'm not going to be the dude,
right?
You know, that causes
the guinea
that
pig.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Not happening. So, unfortunately, guys, those of you out there, Cutmaster's not going to be carrying those, and I'm just throwing it out there. Like, we're seeing this in the industry already. Issues with these cold sparks. So be careful. Okay, let's keep it going. What's your next trend that you want to see go bye-bye?
Another controversial one, especially here in Albuquerque.
Dun, dun, dun.
Line dances. I am over line dances. You do not need them. There's like 4 of them.
Are you talking about La Marcha?
You know, I think if it's something that's important to you as a New Mexican, that there's a lot of tradition behind it. And
right.
that's where that's where it's like super, it's grandpa and grandma have been doing this. This is a big tradition. There's a lot of meaning behind it. So I get that.
But
right?
dude, the electric slide has been money since 1934.
I'm telling you, I haven't played the electric slide. I don't think I played it last year. Yep. I'm not even exaggerating. Yeah. Definitely played. It's Cupid Shuffle. That's the one that's all, and Wobble. That one's a little more. Like I had mentioned, I played it 3 times during that dang school dance. But like, it's Cupid Shuffle, Wobble, Cha-Cha Slide, and Macarena. Okay. I'm over those. You do not need them. There's so much other music out there in the world. And I get it. It's an amazing tool. If you really have, your dance floor is dead and you need something to get them back, like there's so much other music I think you can play. But I think it is a good fail-safe. Like, I don't know what to play.
You know what, though?
I guess, right?
You're so right. Like, okay, you're at a wedding, and the first song the DJ throws on is the freaking Cupid Shuffle.
That happened to me.
What does it scream?
Corny.
I'm at another
Every other
cheesy wedding.
Yep.
That's all. I mean, that's the way I see it. Like, on my end as a DJ. Like, I refuse. I'm not going to start with some cheese ball line.
You know what I've been actually trying to get away from starting the getting away from opening the dance floor with is Uptown Funk.
Yeah, I feel
like that's starting to fall into that. I hate
right?
it because it's such a good song, so universal, great, but it's starting to fall into that.
It's just cheese.
It's been a while. It's just an older song.
It's one of those. It's like a timeless track, right?
Yeah.
So it's like. But you're right, but that's what it feels like. Every wedding I go to, I hear Uptown Funk, or it starts with Uptown Funk, or it starts with Cupid Shuffle.
Or September.
Yeah.
That's another one. But, those aren't bad songs. No. Just play them later.
Right. No, it's all about, we'll get into in another, show about music coordination and that sort of thing. But
I think it's important to let couples know, like, yes, those songs are cool, but, like, also, too, you don't need them.
Yeah.
Do not need them.
A lot of great music out there. Don't have to start cheesy. Okay. For me, here's I don't know if it's controversial or not. What's the kind of controversial song?
Bum, bum, bum. I was trying to think like dun dun dun, but like dun dun.
Okay. I'm going to go with the fake sparkler exits or fake exits like during the night. Like this has got to go. Okay, so basically the photographer is gonna leave at 9:00, and we've got to do a faux sparkler exit and send everybody outside like we're fake going away. But then we're gonna bring everybody back in and keep the party going, right? No. Oh my gosh! Don't do this. I should say, don't do it if your party is like important to you.
If you plan on partying for another hour after. I don't think you should
forget it.
Yeah,
you're gonna So here's the thing: anytime you give your party an opportunity for people to leave at a wedding, you're gonna have a drop off.
There's gonna be people who see it as an opportunity to be like, okay, we can go now.
We can go. We can bounce. We already ate. We saw them.
We said hi. We said congratulations to the couple.
We got a little bit of dancing in.
Yeah.
now you just gave them an opportunity to look at their watch. Oh, look, it's about
That's exactly
9:30, 9 o'clock. We're at a casino. Oh, let's go hit the tables before we go home, right? Don't do it.
Yeah, it's easy to like keep that momentum and get lost in the music, having fun. Like you said, like when you stop, you're like, oh, it's 9:30, let's go, right? Whereas like you're just dancing and 9:30 rolls, 9:45, 10:30 rolls, and then you do your actual exit, it's done.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, wow, we partied for an... I didn't even realize I was having so much fun, right? Like, exactly, when you end the event, or when you fake end the event, people are going to think it's over. Like, it's so hard.
You are ending it for somebody.
Yeah.
If not multiple people. And I've seen it happen time and time again where we're going to do this fake sparkler exit. I get it. It's to get your picture, get the picture. All right.
Yeah.
Instagram, selfie, whatever, and then you can't figure out why you've got a half full dance floor, even though everybody is still here. Yeah. Everybody's still here. They're on the dance floor, but guess what? Half your party left. There's only 50 people left, So yeah, that's a trend I'd like to see go away. It's a good for sure. Okay. You have anything else? That's all I have for trends that I'd like to see go away.
I've got two more.
Okay. Go
and
for
we
it.
can we could do quick, like little quick ones. So one is hashtags. I think you can have it displayed and it's great, but when you overcomplicate them or when no one's posting photos and putting the hashtags behind it. I feel like it's more of a marketing tool. Businesses are using it for search engine and using it stuff like that. And I feel like 5 years ago, people were hashtagging relatable things on their social feeds and all that. But I just think you don't need a hashtag to incorporate photos. And then this will actually...
Hashtag Tony says stop using hashtags.
There's actually a cool trend that I'll talk about that you can use instead of a hashtag that I think is way, way better. But we'll leave that for a little bit.
Hashtag can't wait.
No hashtags. Get rid of them. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking. Nobody cares. I'm sorry. I hate to say that, but spend more on. You can spend that money somewhere else, or like you don't even. I don't know. No hashtags.
People spending money on hashtags?
That's exactly. I hope not.
What?
Okay, and then the other one. This one is a logistical thing. So on paper and on pictures, and it looks great, right? But really, when you think about it, it doesn't work. And what it is a champagne wall. So it's a wall of just champagne glasses, right? Yeah. And so when it's time to toast, you go grab your champagne and you have your toast, right? Say you've got 150 people here. Okay, great. Now you've got to it's basically a second buffet line. So now that I've gotten everybody to go through the buffet, we fed them, right? Great. Okay, now we've got to get 150 people to get up and go grab a glass of champagne. And it's a nightmare. It's a logistical nightmare because yes, it looks pretty, cool, right? But then say you have your sunset photos at 7:30. Okay, that sunset's at 7:30. And now I need another 30 minutes to get everybody a glass of champagne versus just passing it out. Right. Having flutes already on the table and then servers just come and top you off, right? It's about being efficient doing those little things because a sunset photo is amazingly important, but
I feel like that's one of those like a meme, right? Reality versus Instagram.
Yeah, right? Like it looks beautiful and all that, but in reality you're stressed because not only half the tables have champagne and you have to do your toast right now. Right. You know what I mean? And it's just those little things.
I don't think I've ever had one of those.
I've only had it a couple times, but it's actually there's a couple venues too that are weird with liquor licenses. So you have to go to the bar to grab a glass of champagne. Same idea, but I've had it. I like the champagne wall because it looks cool, but I mean, if anything,
but in practice,
yeah, exactly,
it's a logistical nightmare.
I think it'd be smart to put up a faux champagne wall and then pass it out, right?
There you go.
That's one way to do it. That just kind of came to me, but
okay. Hashtag copyright Cutmaster music on that.
Yeah, right. Faux paper ones.
Now I'm going to say hashtag for the rest of the episode, by the way.
So yeah, those are my go away.
All right. I like it. Okay, let's get into trends that we would actually like to see or trends that we're seeing happening that we want to see continue. Yep. I'm going to start this one off.
Go for it.
I would like to see instrumentalists with the DJ. This is something, I haven't really seen it here in Albuquerque. I've seen a bunch of my friends, especially back east, doing this, where they bring in a drummer, a violinist, a saxophonist, right? And they're playing with the DJ. And I've seen some pros and cons to this, especially on the DJ end. You have to have somebody, I think, that knows what they're doing and how to accent the music. But I think where this could be really cool right now, we haven't talked yet about stems, which is a new feature with Serato. Which
we
is
talked a little bit about it last pod, but like a little bit.
Yeah. So, but this is where I think stems can be a huge game changer and they can go hand in hand. Where I can take out the melody or the harmony, and a saxophonist or a violinist can be actually playing the part or a solo through there, right?
Yeah.
Which I think would be super cool. I was actually supposed to do an event. This was right before COVID hit. So the event was supposed to happen during COVID at Los Poblanos. Oof. I was bringing in Camilo Quinones, who is the Quinones family are just legendary drummers here in town, right? That family is amazing. They're awesome. And Camilo was supposed to come in and actually drum an event with me doing I think he was bringing in timbales and like a snare drum and stuff. I mean, it was gonna be killer. Like we had this whole thing planned out. I was so excited finally to bring in a drummer with my DJ set, and it didn't happen. So but yeah, so for me, I'd love to partner up with some instrumentalists and get somebody that wants to think outside the box for their during their open dancing and do it.
Yeah,
I think it'd be super cool.
Nice. That's a good one. Honestly, and mine kind of piggybacks off that just a little bit. Whereas my first one was live band incorporation. Like just bringing on a live band.
You want to see a band instead of a DJ?
I want to see a band.
What is wrong with you?
With the DJ.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did it twice last year, and it was sick. We had a live band. They opened up the dance floor, and what was really cool about that was they satisfied the needs a lot of the older people, a lot of the people looking for Spanish, more traditional stuff. And it was nice because we always talk about catering towards the older folks in the earlier parts of the evening, and then as the night goes on, kind of go more towards younger, right? But what was nice about that band was they played for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then I came on and kind of relieved the band, allowed them to take another 30-minute break, and then we would just kind of go back and forth, and then I finished the night out.
So you're basically breaking the band, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I broke the band, and then for the last 2 hours, I finished the night out, which was at maybe 10 o'clock. So then we went from 10 to
See,
midnight.
I like that. And obviously you got to have a budget, right? Like to do an event like that because you're paying for both a band and a DJ. But for those events that want to, once again, or you're trying to think outside the box, like I love live music.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I go to concerts. I love bands, like, and I enjoy that. But one thing that I've always talked about with why would you use a DJ instead of a band? And it's basically because, like, all right, nobody sounds like Michael Jackson except for Michael Jackson, right? Nobody sounds like Bruno except for Bruno. And then you're limited with a band to their playlist.
Exactly.
Like, you know, the DJ can read the crowd. I can make a right-hand turn, a left-hand turn, any point throughout the night. I can play remixes of songs.
Yeah.
I can DJ in and out. So I feel like a DJ for weddings is just a little bit more versatile. But I love I love live music as well.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying and having that opportunity to have an actual band, because there's something to that too, right?
Yeah.
Like the band and just seeing like people like play live instruments and that's a different feel and a different energy.
Yeah.
To have the best of both worlds. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting though too was like kind of towards the end of the night, or not the end of the band part, they started to lose a little bit of steam. Not they were a fantastic band, really really good, but people were really kind of looking to party, like elevate it, right? And so that was where, like, okay, a band is good, but I don't think a band will help you just have a successful night throughout the entire night. I think it gradually loses momentum at a wedding, at least, you know, and nightlife, a bunch of different things. It's different. I've seen live bands at bars and it's great, right? But I think at a wedding, being able to finish it off with the DJ really helped them stay there till midnight. And like I was outside on the phone, and then my assistant came and she was like, "Hey, they want you to come back 15 minutes early if that's okay." I was like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care," right? So I just went back on, but you could tell that they were like, "All right, let's get the DJ back on. We've had our band fill," and so, but that was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, nice. Okay, another trend I would like to see: mashup weddings. All right.
Okay.
I'd like to see this. So, I mean, I'm just talking about the music.
Okay.
You know, like with couples that I think we are starting to see more of this. They want mashups, and we're in the TikTok era, right? So everything that's on the music that's on TikTok, on Instagram, it's like they're DJ produced mashups and things like that. And so they want, I think, a lot more of that type of music to be played, maybe not the entire night, but to be able to mix in some of that stuff. So I'm all about that trend. And I think, once again, this is where I think if you have a DJ that gets good at using stems and can do mashups on the fly that work, that that work, they're tried.
They're mixing in key.
They're tested.
You know what I mean?
Tried and true. Mixing in key. I'm all about it. Like,
Definitely.
This is for us. This is one of those things where I feel like as a DJ, this is where we can level up, because there are a lot of DJs, I hate to say it, like wedding DJs, talking specifically about wedding DJs. They show up, they press play on the laptop, they're playing a song for 5 minutes, the next song comes on for another 5 minutes, and it's just, that's old hat.
It's a big worry that I get from clients or couples. They're like, we want to make sure that our DJ can they're not starting the song at the beginning and just letting it play out. They want to be able to mix and mash up and do different things like that. And I agree. Yeah. The DJ who was just playing records from beginning to end is really fading out. And it's really about not necessarily quick mixes, but unique mashups.
You know what though? But we're seeing a lot of quick mix stuff because you go to
your
clubs right
attention
now,
span
and that's
is-
what it is. It's we're talking about, because our younger couples right now, you're talking about millennials, right?
Yeah,
that are
even Gen
basically-
Zs now
and Gen
creeping
Zs
in.
are coming. It's starting to come in, and that's what they're used to. It's like the attention span is so small, and instant gratification, right? So it's like, and I don't mind it. Even when you're playing old school stuff, I do sets all the time where it's like, this is how we do it, verse and chorus, into DMX, party up, into whatever, into Crazy in Love, like in an old school set, and I can get in and out of 4, 5, 6 songs in 3 minutes. You know?
Well, it's like a great example I say is Nelly. What's this? I'm drawing a blank on the song, but hey, must be the money. Ride with me. Thank you. Yes. So Nelly, Ride with Me, right? That's a great song. It's a 4.5 minute song. And they do that chorus 3-4 times.
Yeah.
By the second time, no, everybody's over.
Nobody wants to hear. No, you don't even want to hear "Hot in Here" for 5 minutes.
It's true.
You don't.
Yeah, you don't. But it's interesting though, because there's a couple songs like "Yeah" by Usher. I always say that one's, you could play front to back. People love that ludicrous verse at the end. You know.
Yeah. Even that one's still.
That's one of the.
Chopped it
I'd
up.
say there's maybe 3. I can't even think of a couple, another. Like that one is really good front to back.
The only songs
I
like
can't even-
really now that I'm playing like front to back is like country music.
Yeah.
Just because like I know like if we're playing a country song, they want to actually dance country. Like they want a 2-step or they want a country swing, and they want to dance for 3 and 4 minutes of that. So like it's more about the dancing.
Country music's unique too. I feel like it takes them 2.5 minutes to get out there. You play your country song, and you're like, "You guys were loving it. What happened?" And then I want to get out, right? I'm like, "Oh, it's a dud. I need to get out." And then
they start coming.
They start trickling out, and you're like, oh, "Okay, I'll let it play."
Right.
But that's unique. With country.
So mashup weddings for me, I want to see more of them. I want to see more couples that want to get crazy with the music.
Well, I think I thought about this too. Was a lot of people now, I feel like we were talking about this a while back, was music and how new music isn't being as received as well as it was 10 years ago. And now people are wanting to hear stuff that they like, but they want to hear it in a new way.
Totally.
So if it's
Oh my
fantasy,
gosh,
Mariah
how much sampling from the 80s and 90s are we seeing?
Dude,
right
it's all sampled now. I mean, I'm sure they said that 10 years ago, right? As I like get older and I look back, I'm like, oh wow, that actually.
I mean, you're right.
Right?
A lot of stuff has been sampled, but I
this
feel
is
like
the first time in my life where I'm like, come on, it's
yeah,
all the
that-
same.
that's
I feel-
Elton John, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah.
I feel like I'm turning into an old head where I'm like, oh, this music, I never get, you know what I mean?
Oh my God, you're turning old.
I know.
It happens.
That's happening.
Sorry.
I'm scared. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, go ahead. What's your next trend you'd like to see?
Food trucks.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times, but one thing that I loved was having multiple food trucks. And so they had like different options, right? And they were so different. One was an Italian food truck. One was like a taco truck. And then they had like, instead of a cake cutting, at the end, once we opened up the dance floor, I don't know what the paleteria?
Yeah, or paletas.
Paletas were being passed out.
bar?
So a person
Yeah.
literally in a cart was going through the dance floor and like, well,
Oh, man. Oh, with the little cart?
yeah. And
No
that's,
way.
I don't know their title, but it was, yeah. It was
Their
sick.
official title is called Paleta Guy.
Yeah, exactly. The paleta guy was handing them out. Yeah, exactly. It was that exact thing.
Yeah,
and it was so
it's the
cool
paleta guy.
because he was a
best.
party. Everyone came around him and he was like, yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
that was
Just
fun.
go hang out at Little League on Saturday.
Yeah,
And you'll
right.
see the Paleta Guy.
Yeah, he's a popular dude.
He's always there. Or the
funny.
bark. You know?
But yeah, I like trucks because it's a unique way to switch up your day, right? You're not, it's kind of like a buffet, but it is, you get to choose your own in a way. And it's so unique. You get to showcase a local vendor, which is another cool thing. And
I think I like the idea of multiple trucks because
Yeah.
then you can get more people through. But I would worry about like only having one truck and then having people having to like wait in line.
Yep.
You know, with that.
yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, see, I think it would be super smart to have
Okay.
at least 2.
10 trucks
10.
and 3 Paleta guys.
Yep. You need an ice cream truck, a paleta guy, and then somebody from like Cold Stone just coming through and having
Boom.
one. Or ice cream cakes from like 31 flavors or something crazy.
Ooh. I like. Ooh, yeah, the ice cream guy's
Those are
good,
good,
too. All right. Okay. A trend I would like to see. I'm going back to music. I want to also, or I like the trend that I thought we were seeing. I feel like it's kind of died off. I was like getting super excited last year.
Yeah.
Is more house music.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we had Beyonce come flying in. Drake had some in there.
Yeah.
You know, we were starting to see more house vibes, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, we're finally getting back into like the dance music and house music.
Yeah.
Then I feel like it like stalled out.
It's kind of in a weird spot where we are in January right now. I feel like music in January is always unique.
Right.
They don't want to be releasing the bangers until the summertime, right? So the summer hits come out and all that.
I think we're
But
gonna see more house music this summer.
maybe, hopefully. I would like to. I'm a big house music fan, but you know, I feel like right now with the trend of music, for me it's all ladies. I feel like ladies are rocking the music in terms of like what's popular. Yes,
Right.
Drake is always gonna hit, right? Always he's gonna do something different. But it's Dua Lipa, it's Meg Thee Stallion, it's Nicki Minaj still doing it, right? Like I feel like they're hitting harder in terms of just like what's more received. Like that new one too, Players by, is it Koi something? Because girls is players too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's another sample from
Right.
yeah, what is it? It's like it's trouble sometimes. It makes me wonder how it keep from going under the message.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that it's unique. But like, yeah, again, I think the ladies are kind of dominating the music scene right now. But
Yeah.
I think it's still in that 120 to 128 range. You know,
That's
think
what I
a
want
lot
to
of-
see it. Like I'm all about like for our dance floors, right? Like the dance music. Like I feel like we fell on, well, and it's always cycles, right?
Yeah.
You're always gonna go from dance to like whatever trap music, and it's like all lower BPM or mumble rap. Or
I'm
whatever.
not a fan of the rap game right now. I think it's okay, but like when I was at the school dances, they love the new rap music.
Right.
And I just want to rock by Little Uzi's hitting right now, and it's great, right? But it's just like,
Not. They're not.
it's fine. I like it, right? But it's like the song is just not as...
It's weird. So it's not dance
Danceable.
vibes. It's anthem sing along.
Yeah,
types
but it's-
vibes.
it's-
but it's weird. Like it's not like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel you. Okay, so what's your next one?
Let's go with this one. This is what I was talking about for hashtags. Instead of doing hashtags or incorporating photos, I think this is a really cool thing that you can incorporate. And I'm drawing a blank on the name of the app, but they have a couple of them that do it, and it works as a disposable camera pretty much. So what you would do is you would have QR codes on your table throughout the day, right, wherever, displayed somewhere. And then what people do is they take photos, you take your photos, your wedding photos, you upload them to the app, but you can't see them for 24 hours. So everybody has their day, they do all this, and then the next day
So you have like a photo dump that everybody goes and looks at like the day after.
But you can't look at, you take the photo and then you don't see it. you can't see what it just goes to the cloud or whatever.
Right.
And then it's really cool because like you get to kind of go through it and see what photos were taken. And I'm a big fan of disposable cameras at weddings. I think that's so sweet. That's so awesome. But you can't count on people to use those disposable cameras. I've always felt like couples will buy 20 of them and maybe develop 2, 3 that are actually have photos on them. Whereas like the digital, it's a lot more accessible. It's a QR. Everybody knows how to scan a QR, and then it's easy. So that's something I've seen.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like it. Okay, I think another trend I would like to see. I'd like to see a trend of retro weddings, like retro vibes, right? Like, I don't know, take 80s, for example. Just like where we've got some of these themes where...
Like you'd theme it out 80s?
Kind of. Like just, I don't know, like whether it's the color scheme and maybe even some of the music. You know, I've always been a fan of retro and throwback vibes. So I'd like to see that, you know, maybe a little bit more, but maybe that's just the old school in me.
Yeah, right. Wanting to bring back the good old 80s tracks or the good old
and I don't even know
90s
I mean,
things.
for weddings.
It's unique because everybody has their perfect image of a wedding, right? And so whatever that may look like. But, you know, you could pull like vintage things from weddings.
Right.
Whatever that may be. I wasn't doing weddings in the 90s or the 80s. So, but like things that they were doing, right? You could incorporate.
Yeah, I'd like to just see some retro vibes in the weddings. Okay, what else you got?
My last one is unique guest books. I feel like just having somebody sign a guest book is so traditional, so old school. It's overdone, and it's easy, right? Like that's fine if that's what you want. Cool. But I've seen so many cool ones. A new one that I saw last year that I loved was a rotary phone, old school with the wire, right? And then it was just recorded, or it was connected to a recorder, and then people would leave voicemails as their signature. So they would just be like, hey, we love you. We hope you are enjoying your wedding day and whatever. But they would leave them a voicemail, and then you could go through the voicemails later. So I thought that was so unique because you just picked up the phone and then just said your message.
So then basically it records it to like a hard drive or something like that. And then they go back later
It's
on
a little
just
flash
listen.
drive that sticks into the back of the phone. So it's a unique phone for sure because it has a USB out and all that. But it was super easy.
Was the phone clear and where you could see all the wires and
but
had neon lights in
that'd
it?
be cool. I bet you can easily find a phone like that. But it was tan, you know, traditional phone that you see in the movies.
You didn't have that one of those on your wall in your bedroom? Like
I did in the 90s.
Did you?
Or like early 2000s.
I figured you were too young for that.
So we had home phones growing up, and I wanted that phone. I'd see it on Nickelodeon, and I was like, I want it. So it was like
I think I had the knockoff. We couldn't afford like the real one.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I found some knockoff.
I remember having it, and it would pick up, and it was all connected, and it was see through. It was sick. It was so sick. I thought it was the coolest thing.
With an 80-foot long cord.
Yeah.
You know, because you couldn't get the cord it came with didn't get all the way across your room to like your bed. And,
You know what I miss? This is a new trend that I just want to see in tech. This is kind of a little off the wall, but remember how everything was see through? In like the 90s and early 2000s, the Game Boys, the phones, all the the MacBooks,
the Trapper Keepers.
What's I don't know what a Trapper.
Oh my God, where's the music for Oh my God. Tony, did you guys hear that? Tony doesn't know what a Trapper Keeper is.
I am not familiar with a Trapper Keeper.
You're gonna look it up right now?
Yeah.
Tony's gonna look it up. He's gonna find out how much awesomeness he missed growing up as a kid.
I think we talked about these during our when we would do the Twitch.
Yeah, when we were, of course,
because you had it as a display. Yeah.
Oh no, I had a whole background scene of Trapper Keepers.
So these are like it's like a manila folder. Or an accordion folder. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's a note, notebook where you kept all your stuff. Like
these look cool though.
You know, you had a bunch of folders in it.
Got
that
a bunch of 90s
colors.
patterns.
Yeah, you had like a Trapper Keeper and they had all kinds of different stuff on them. Horses.
Yeah, Lisa Frank. I'm seeing a
basketball
bunch of
players.
90s vibes.
Oh my, yeah.
Right.
Oh, everything. They're the best.
That's cool. What was yours?
I'm gonna get
Do you remember the Trapper Keeper?
Oh my God! I mean, you had to get a new one every year.
Oh.
So I had
Did you have a favorite?
I had one that was a basketball player on it, and it was like cool, like I don't know, artistic.
It's like a hooper.
Yeah. Hooper. But you had to get a new one every year. You remember, peeps. Tony doesn't.
I didn't.
He missed out.
For us, it was a backpack. which is probably way more expensive as I think about it. But I always wanted a cool new backpack for school.
Yeah.
That was like the new thing every year.
The Trapper Keepers, man.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, which one did you get?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay.
So yeah, voicemails, and then just another rant. We went on a random tangent there, but
What are you talking about?
bring it back.
Trapper Keepers are not a tangent.
Another
Take it back.
Fair enough. Another example of a cool guest book that I've seen was Puzzle Pieces. And yes, it's assigned, you sign it, right? But it was on a frame, and then you put the puzzle pieces together, and I thought that was kind of cool, little
Oh, yeah, that is cool.
unique.
All right. I dig it. Okay, my last trend that I am already seeing, and I want to see definitely more of this because we were talking with Janet at Los Poblanos last week on how they are hopping in on this trend, after parties.
Oh,
Now, this is something I think it's been going on once again, East Coast, West Coast. It's been happening more. I feel like I've been seeing more of this over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But it's going to start happening now. I know it is. And especially venues like Los Poblanos, they end at 10, 10:30.
Hotel Albuquerque.
They want to keep these couples want to keep the night going.
Yeah.
But you don't have 150 people to still keep the night going with, but you got a solid 20 or 30 that want to keep the party going. And I think we're going to start seeing more after parties, that are happening, whether it's in smaller rooms, different event spaces that are a little bit smaller. And Los Poblanos was already talking about doing something like this because they've opened up, I guess, a couple of other places around town, like off property, off site. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, and that's what they're looking at possibly doing in the future, or holding after parties. Once you're done there at Los Poblanos, then they'll shuttle you over to this other spot of theirs.
Yeah,
and you keep your night going.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome, like for a company like us with multiple DJs, different types of DJs, right? Where I can be at Los Poblanos, finish out the night, and then you can go after party with DJ Zia, or Victoria over there, and you get a completely different DJ, completely different set of vibes.
Yep.
You can go deeper into the crates a little bit with just something completely different. You could theme it out, right? So that's a trend I'm hearing more about. I'm seeing it happening, and I think we're gonna see more of that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I always make the suggestion of ending an hour earlier, but keeping us booked. Like we're gonna technically go to 11, but I think you should strategically end at 10, so you peak at the right time. You want guests to think like, wow, it's already over. I don't want to leave, right? You really want them to have that. So if you strategically end at say 10, but you want to have some more intimate moments, it's often referred to as like a nightcap.
Right.
One more drink.
Yep.
And we change the vibe, right? We still play music. We keep the vibe going, but we've peaked and we had the party of our life, and now everybody's having good conversation, intimate moments for that last hour.
We did this. It was at the end of the season last year.
Yeah.
Hotel Albuquerque. I was outside playing, in the underneath the
foyer, patio, outdoor area.
Yeah, what's that? Where all the vines are. It's super, super cool out there. And then I think they have a noise ordinance.
Yeah.
And at 10 o'clock, we had DJ Victoria inside, set up, ready to go inside the fireplace room.
Yep, right next door.
Much smaller, where you put 10 people in that room and it feels full. And I think they had another 30 people that went in there. And the energy picks back up. Yep. They went up for another, I think hour and a half, 2 hours in there. And she went deep dive into a lot of just different type of music and more hip hop and clubby stuff, and it was it worked out great.
That's cool.
It was awesome. So
more after parties.
Okay, cool. So those are our trends from myself and Tony that we want to see happen. So now to finish off the podcast here, we're gonna do a segment called the Grab Bag. And basically, this is where we just go kind of scouring the internet, more so the groups that we're a part of, pick a few questions, and then, tackle them, answer them a little bit. So the first one, I saw this in a DJ group that I'm a part of, and this comes up fairly often. And it's interesting to me. But basically, the question was, do you drink alcohol at your weddings? And I see this pop up from time to time, and it's interesting because we're at an event, right, where there's alcohol
Party vibe.
flowing
Yeah.
typically, and you would just think, oh, DJs, they drink, and we get people that come up all the time. I mean, it's countless number of times that people have been like, oh, what can we get you? What can we get you to drink? What do you want to drink? Got to have a drink. We're taking shots,
Yeah.
They just kind of feel like the DJ.
Well, you're often seen as the party guy.
You're the party guy.
You're the DJ, right? You are often a high energy, fun person who probably wouldn't mind a drink because that's like the stigma around the DJ, right?
Well, and I
don't
think,
even have to know the person.
So most people think when you think of DJ, most people don't think of wedding DJ. They're thinking of Tiesto,
Yeah,
right?
Tiesto,
Like,
yep.
I mean, you're in the club, the bottles are popping, and
Yeah.
all that thing. For us, we have a strict policy of no drinking at events, and it's plain and simple. We're working. It's professional. Being professional. I need to be at my best to perform at my best for you all at your wedding, and I can't do that if I'm intoxicated. I think it looks very tacky. I've heard from other venue coordinators because we don't drink. I've heard of plenty others that I guess do. I don't know. This doesn't seem like rocket science to me, right?
It's
You're there
easy.
to do a job.
Yeah.
Would you drink if you were doing heart surgery?
Right, exactly. You're not going to see a doctor go in and have a couple shots before he goes into surgery.
Every weekend is the Super Bowl for us, right?
Yeah.
So next weekend at the Super Bowl, you think the players are going to go out there drunk?
Right?
No, they're going to wait till after.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. No, it's very true.
You can't perform at your best.
No.
Right?
DJs have to DJ and then you party after, right? And sometimes that's it doesn't happen, right? Because you are the party or whatever. But I think as a professional, you have to understand that you are creating these moments. And yeah, if you're not on point, it's gonna come through in the music. It's gonna come through in your emceeing and all these different things, and that's just not okay.
Yeah, and I just feel like if you can't go without a drink for 4, 5, 6 hours,
Right.
okay, you got other issues
Yeah.
at hand, right?
It's
just,
true.
I mean, so that's our take on that, and it's just funny. I see this pop up in the forums all
common-
the time.
yeah.
With people just talking
It's
about
interesting
that.
because it is very straightforward, But
Okay, so the next one that I saw then was DJ asking about tips and tip jars. Do you all put a tip jar out at your event?
a tip jar.
Yeah, tip jars.
What are we at? The bar? The local pub? Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah. People doing tip jars.
That rocks my world.
You putting tip jars out at your events?
I always look at so I DJ nightlife bars and all that, and I'll put a tip jar out because that's totally acceptable. But it's funny, I'll be setting up for my wedding or like packing up and I'll see the jar and I'll be like, man, if I could just put that jar out, I'd make a nice little coin, right? But that's horrible. Like it's so tacky. It's so. Oh, it's just, it's like, oh, in a perfect world, that'd be great. Right?
No,
But
and so here, there's plenty of reasons. Number one, I just feel it's super tacky. Super tacky. You know what?
They're already paying you.
That goes along the lines, that's not even a part of this, but goes along the lines with advertising at your weddings.
I agree.
Like you will never, ever, ever, ever see us put a 6-foot banquet table out with a drapery over the top with a big old Cutmaster music is your DJ tonight.
if they're interested, they'll come get a card.
That's the way I feel. If you're good enough, they're gonna come. They're gonna seek out the information.
Exactly.
We want to keep it clean, elegant, sleek. Blend in with the decor,
Yes.
enhance the decor
Exactly.
if you can.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of DJs or like sometimes, not sometimes, but DJ setups will kind of be shoved in the corner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just kind of like, okay, yeah, he's our party, but
Afterthought.
yeah, we want it. Our wedding looks clean, and then he's over there. Whereas, like for us, we really, like you said, want to complement the space. We want it to look, real wow factor.
You don't think a massive 5-foot tip jar would complement?
It might if you have them on two sides, symmetry.
Two. See that. So the moral of this is if you're. Don't use a tip jar. Use two.
Use two.
Yeah, always.
If you're gonna have a
always
tip jar, put two out
two
there.
out there. Be symmetric, people. Equal opportunity tippers.
Oh, it's so bad.
Good
Don't
Lord.
do it.
Good
Please don't put tip jars out there.
Don't do
I'm
it.
so sorry.
Okay. Number 3, this is the last one from the grab bag, and then we're going to get out of here.
Wait, hold on. Actually,
Okay,
let me
go
think
ahead.
about this. This is one thing I do want to say about tips. At the end of the night, if dad comes up to you and hands you $50,
Mm-hmm.
you earn that tip. You know what I mean? But I think that's the only time that ever is appropriate, where it's done privately. You're not asking for it.
You know
I
what?
never think you should ask for a tip. But if it's presented, by all means, you earned it.
Totally. Well, and most of the time it's private. It's like usually after an event or
I've never
we'll
never
get tips.
had somebody throw money at me during an open dance on a wedding, right? Like it's pretty,
typically in private. Which is fine. I'm not opposed to that.
That
at
just
all.
kinda-
I'm not out there advertising. So a tip jar is
guys
just
wanna give me-
screaming.
Yeah.
Like attention. Like right. Like
you should be giving me what's owed to me or something silly.
yeah. Just like
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's interesting because, like I was saying, at a bar, I don't feel inappropriate putting out a tip jar for that.
No, I don't know. I
Like
guess
at Marble.
it's a different space, right?
Or at Revel.
and a different
Uptown.
tip the DJ. So it's different though too, right? Because at a bar, if somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, will you play this?" and tips you $20,
Yeah.
like you're at a bar, nobody
Yeah.
cares, and absolutely, it's
true.
If somebody comes up to me at a wedding and gives me $20 and says, "Throw on some Metallica," no.
Yeah.
Like I'm not no. Like and you feel obligated, right? Like if
Yes.
somebody's tipping you to
To play it.
like I
play
owe
what they
them now,
want.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I owe them. So at a wedding is a completely different just space and it's
a unique
just-
space,
I don't
yeah.
feel like it's appropriate for
Yep.
for tip jars, you know.
I agree.
So okay, last question in the grab bag. Eating at events. This is another one that I see come up very frequently and more so in DJ forums,
Mm-hmm.
and I see things all over the board. And the East Coast, I feel particularly seems very strong about not ever eating at events.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I actually agree with them. I don't think you should need to eat at an event because it's kind of you could even look at it on the surgeon kind of way. I look at it more of like any kind of job, but like you're not expecting your surgeon to take a lunch break during your surgery, right? Or a doctor. But I feel like a better way to look at it is like, say you work an 8-hour shift at Home Depot. I don't expect them to feed me 4 hours in or something like that. That's kind of the way I look at it. And I feel like if I have to worry about being hungry, I'm not thinking about the wedding points, right? And I'll bring, I'm a big fan of bringing like a Nutri-Grain bar, an orange, definitely a water bottle just to keep me hydrated. But I like to keep it light and have a good meal beforehand, eat something after, and just have maybe a snack or two in between, just so I'm not having to worry about, am I being fed? Am I not being fed? And a lot of the times I'm so locked in, I'm not even thinking about food. And I think it's where it comes into like a personal thing, right?
Yeah, and I've got a different take on it for sure. I always ask at our final event review if they're providing a meal for the DJ, and it's never asking for a meal. It's just that I want to know one way or the other.
Yeah.
If we're being fed, then great. And if we are not, that's fine too. I just need to know ahead of time so I'm prepared, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, ask anybody that knows me really well. I'm kind of the same way. I can go a full day without eating. I haven't had a meal today and we're already at 2:30. I mean, this is what happens, right? You just get going.
Yeah.
Just like you said. Like you get going, you're in the mix of everything, and before you know it, the night's over, and you're like, you're hungry afterward.
Yep.
You go grab something after you finish the event, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, I also feel that most of the time, 9 times out of 10, we are being fed at our events, and they are taking care of us. And it's almost like a cultural thing where like they're inviting you as part of the family to eat with them. So you talk about the surgeon. Would you want your surgeon to be full mojo, the tank full, full when they're performing surgery?
But I would have expected him to show up full mojo, not work for 3 hours and then get to full mojo.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you want them at full mojo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is all dependent, right? Like, I think we're in a state that is different than some of these other states where food is, like I said, it's more cultural almost. Like they feel like they're taking care of you. They want to take care of you. And it would almost feel like you're doing that family a disservice if you're not. But here's the one thing I will say. if I don't have to, I typically never eat out in front of everybody else.
Yeah.
So if we're like, for example, at a Hotel Albuquerque, we're getting fed. Usually we're going out into the hallway, into a small table.
They'll set up something
They'll
private
set
for
up
us.
something private out
nice.
out of the way.
Yeah.
Where, you know,
No one's looking at you shoveling food down.
right. So, and the DJing aspect of it isn't as important, I don't feel, at that point in time, because it's just background.
People are just talking.
People are talking. They want to converse, so they're not really paying too much attention to that. So I don't feel the least bit, you know, bad about going out and having a bite. Now, most of the time when we are being fed, of course, you're being fed last. And by the time you're eating, it's time for them to start doing toast and that sort of. So I'm usually eating very quickly.
Yep.
So if I'm eating, it's not usually more than 5-10 minutes tops. I'm getting just a little bit of food in me. Once again, getting the mojo, the tank full, just so now I feel so much better. I'll tell you this, I feel way better after I've eaten, because think about it. Most of the time we're going to set up.
It's a long day.
Or it's a long day, right? And I know photographers too, same thing. Like a lot of them, they write it into their contracts.
I don't blame them. They
fed.
are the one of the hardest working vendors to on a wedding day.
Totally.
They're there all day.
You know, we don't write it into our contracts. I'll never write it in. I'm never going to ask for a meal. I just want to know if they have.
I always like to say
about
it's never expected, but I'm always grateful for it. Because
Right.
a lot of these plates are $80 a plate.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And so if you're going to buy me a plate, well, sure.
Okay, let me ask you: are you turning down a Los Poblanos meal?
Oh, no, never. This is Los Poblanos we're talking about, man. No, I feel like I'm never gonna ask for a meal.
Right.
Like you said, we're not gonna put it in the contract.
Nah.
But if somebody at Hotel Albuquerque says, "Hey, we've got some plates. You want one? You want chicken or beef? Beef. Let's do it." Right? Like I'm down. You know, but. I don't want to make it a thing where it's like you gotta, like a photographer is. I must be fed. You know, that's kind of how I look at it.
It is different. They're putting in usually their day is starting at 6-7 in the morning.
We're often the last vendor to arrive to an event.
Right. Well, we're the last ones to leave though too.
That's a very good point.
But yeah, so the eating comes up a lot. I see that. But you know, I feel like some of these events, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like on the East Coast, at least a lot of my friends, I feel like their weddings don't go as long as ours.
Interesting.
I see so many of them, like they're doing a wedding and then going off and working a nightclub afterward.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them. Like our weddings are going till like
12.
midnight, like 10 at minimum
usually.
10:30.
Yeah,
but
minimum.
Most of the time it's like till midnight, and it's like you wouldn't have a chance to go do another event afterward.
No.
Some of them are.
Well, you know, Albuquerque's, our nightlife isn't the best. It's all right, right? I feel like
no, it's just different.
when DJ Z is there, it's a good time. No, I'm just kidding.
Jay-Z at Rebel.
Yeah, right. But you know, I think Albuquerque's a different kind of town, and I would feel more safer at a wedding, partying with people who I know, and then all that, versus like trying to get everybody to go to another thing. And the DJ nightlife scene is unique in Albuquerque.
Right. Yeah, I don't feel like you see as much of a blend with nightlife DJs and mobile DJs mixing as I've seen with, once again, and I think of my friends on the East Coast, especially in Jersey.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them are they're like, I know Janai, you know, Jason Janai, he'll go rock a wedding and then he's, you know, rocking a nightclub for a few hours afterwards, you know. I just don't think you see a lot of that crossover here.
I feel like a lot of DJs will just stay in the nightlife lane because they're so intimidated by like the emceeing, or like a lot of them are like, I don't want to play that stuff, right, or whatever.
Right.
But I
mean, there's a stigma, I think, on both sides.
Yeah,
right.
It's
different worlds.
Yeah, different worlds.
Different
they are.
games.
They're completely different worlds, completely different ball games. So I can understand how you would like one or the other.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up episode number 2 for us.
Yeah.
This was good.
It's good.
So, do we have topics on hand for what we're gonna do on the next one?
I have. The one that I picked, we can easily change this if we'd like, but I was thinking we could talk about our favorite wedding venues in New Mexico and the importance of picking a venue.
Okay. So we will tackle venues on episode number 3 and add some more grab bag picks in there. And if you guys have any questions, you know, for us that you'd like for us to tackle, please put them in the comments, throw us a DM. Where can they find us, Zia?
they can find us on cutmastermusic.com or no, yeah, they can find us on cutmastermusic.com. They can also find us on any at Cutmaster Music, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I think those are the big three. We're going to be on YouTube. We already are on YouTube, but this is going to be our first pod, as long as the video comes out clean. I hope it does. We're like I said, we're learning as we go, guys.
We're getting better each time.
Yes.
All right. So you just wait till episode number 350.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. We're going to put a bow on this one. Thank you guys once again for listening. We're going to do it again next week for sure. And I think that's it.
That's it.
All right. We'll see ya.
See you guys later.
Thanks for checking out the Cutmaster Cast podcast. Make sure you stay tuned with all things related at www.cutmastermusic.com.